Alright guys, so today I'm going to be making my very own tier list for Bloons TD6 containing all the T5 towers in the game. Now, I'm not an expert at Bloons TD6. I'm not as good as a lot of the other Bloons YouTubers. We all know that. I play the game casually and for fun, so don't take this tier list too seriously. It's more for fun and my own personal preference of towers. So before you guys just start smacking on the keyboard, Tewtiy, actually, how dare you choose that? It's a joke, guys, okay? And with that being said, I'm gonna take the True Sun God and I'm gonna put it in F tier. $500,000 and it can't hit camo balloons? Nah. Checkmate, haters. And guys, if you're excited and you want to see more tier lists and more videos like this in the future, hit that like button. Guys, if you hit the like button, it shows that you like the video and it shows your support, so do it now. Here, tell you what, if you do it, I'll move the Sun God from the F tier up to the D tier, okay? 1, 2, 3. You didn't like the video, did you? I don't think you did. All right, for real this time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thanks. You're awesome. All right, let's get this video started. This guy is insane. Basically, it can wipe out all balloons on the screen, right? Like, once you get the biggest one, like, upgrade, you're pretty much good to go. It can just clear out wave after wave after wave. Basically, you will never have any problems with balloons ever again. Maybe like Moabs and things like that, and it's relatively cheap. It's kind of annoying because it like clogs up the screen, so I'm gonna put it in B tier. That's probably where I'm gonna put it. Apache Prime is an insane tower. Apache Prime can like solo all the way up to almost around 100 by itself, right? It is completely insane. It's definitely the strongest helicopter upgrade in the game, and it's definitely going up into A tier. I'm not going off of pure popping power. I'm kind of going off of a bunch of different factors. How much does it cost? How useful is it, like, overall? Just, it's not just how many balloons can it pop, right? The thing is, there's some towers that are incredibly expensive and pop a lot of balloons, but, like, I can do a whole lot more with the same amount of money getting, like, smaller towers. This is like the Archmage Wizard. Honestly, I don't think this is a very good upgrade, right? Like, this upgrade, it's just, you're almost never going to get it. It just doesn't do much. It's pretty expensive, like 25,000, 30,000 or something like that. I'm personally not a big fan of it. For now, I'm gonna put it in F tier just because, like, what does it do? You're much better off going just like the Wizard Lord Phoenix or any other T5 upgrade for that matter. The Angry Druid, guys, okay? To really get the full benefit of them, you need kind of an army of them. So the thing is, by itself, it's not that good of a tower, but if you get like a whole bunch of them and kind of put them together, you have quite a pop list of like towers, and it's not bad, but it's not great. So I'm gonna put it in C tier for now. Oh, one of my favorite T5s, guys. The top T5 path for the banana farm, guys. This thing is amazing, okay? It gives you tons and tons of bananas, and it makes it so all your other banana farms also make more bananas. But the problem is, it's like 85 to almost or 108,000 when you're playing on hard mode. So it's great, but a lot of times not super affordable. But when you're trying to do like late game strats, I'm gonna put it in the A tier for now. Bloon Crush is, I don't think it's the best upgrade for the bomb shooter, but I definitely think it's not completely terrible. I'm probably gonna put it in C. In my opinion, it's just kind of a middle tier, pretty good. We're just gonna leave it at that. Bloon Incineration. Bloon Incineration is an amazing mortar tower, mainly because it does a lot of things that other towers don't do. So the main thing is it has a DOT effect, which is damage over time. So in the very beginning, you put it at the beginning of the track, it sets balloons on fire, and then they just burn throughout the entire track. It's kind of like a glue gunner, but from way more damage. And on top of that, it takes out fortification, so you can't have fortified Moabs or DDTs, and strips camo from them. So it's like a really good mix between an offensive and a support tower. It's going in the B tier. We're gonna put that in the B tier for now. Bomb Blitz is insane. 100 bad balloons stacked on top of each other. Here they come. This is gonna be good. So boost, boost, boost. All right, let's see what happens. Oh my gosh, so it kind of just melts them. Oh my goodness, is that every bad balloon? Oh my gosh, look at the money we're making. We're making crazy amounts of money right now. It is the bottom path for the bomb shooter, and easily, I have to say, it's an S tier tower. This thing is, it's cheap, it's affordable, and it just destroys balloons. You're gonna have a little bit of a hard time when dealing with, you know, Moabs and other things like that, but you get like 1 or 2 of these bad boys, and you don't have to worry about Moabs. The final like T5 ability is kind of expensive, but overall that path when you go to the T4 is crazy, and the T5 just makes it even stronger. So that is easily an S rank tower in my book, guys. Absolute Zero does a couple of cool things, you know what I'm saying? He slows all balloons in an AoE radius around him, and he also has an ability that slows down everything temporarily and freezes them. He's a pretty powerful tower, and honestly one of the best for the ice monkeys, but I'm not a huge fan of the ice monkeys, so I'm just gonna put it in B tier. Glaive Lord, super powerful tower, and can do a lot, especially against like ceramic rushes, regen rushes, and all sorts of things like that. But the problem is he has a small range. He's only really good in certain maps against certain like sets of balloons, but I still think he's really good, and we're gonna put him in the B tier. Carpet of Spikes is kind of a hit or a miss for me. The problem with Carpet of Spikes is it always lags my game. We have over 100 of these bad boys. I've done a terrible thing. Now it's time for the best dart monkey upgrade, the crossbow. I'm probably going to put it in the A tier. The reason I'm going to put it in the A tier is it's relatively cheap. You can get 2 of them. It has massive range of attack, does crazy damage, has a chance to crit to do extra damage, has fast attack speed, and is overall just a well-rounded tower. Did I also say that it just hits camos naturally? This guy is just a sniper that just shoots really, really fast. And he just mows everything down. He's probably not the best of the towers to upgrade, just because like he just attacks really, really fast, and without having some other towers, he's not that great. So I'm probably gonna put him in the D path because I think there's better ways to go for the sniper. So the thing with the elite sniper is you have an ability so you can call in cash drops to get extra money, and it grants elite targeting ability to all of their snipers, and it makes it so all other snipers attack faster. So if you're doing like a sniper strat, it's pretty good. So for now, I'm gonna put it up in the C tier. Energizer. It takes away camo, it pops balloons, it reduces all cooldowns, it makes it so heroes gain XP 50% faster. It's just one of the best support towers in the game because it does a lot of cool things, and it's relatively cheap, and it's a lot of fun to use. I use it as often as I can when doing special strategies, so for that, it goes up into the A tier. Flying Fortress, which is the strongest plane upgrade in the game. It has bombs, it has darts, it is strong, it's beautiful, and it's going in the S tier for me, guys. The Flying Fortress is just crazy. I'm not a huge fan of the glue gunner, right? It can slow down a lot of balloons, which is great, but that's pretty much all it does. If I'm gonna slow down balloons, I'd much rather get the ice monkey. So for that, I'm gonna put this specific glue gunner in the D tier. The Grandmaster Ninja kicks butt, guys. He is just overall, he has a lot of shurikens, does a lot of damage, and he's not that incredibly expensive as a tower. And most of the time, I'd rather go with a different tower, so because of that, I'm gonna put him in the B tier. Homeland Defense is unarguably the best support tower in the game. I almost can't play without this a lot of the times, mainly because I'm bad, but it gets to go into the S tier just because of how awesome it is. There's really not much for me to say about Icicle Impale. It's a nice monkey, and for me, it's kind of like a gimmick tower just because, like, it really doesn't do a lot, right? Like, sure, Icicle Impale makes it so he does damage to Moab balloons, but like, overall, it's kind of a joke tower to me. I'm sure people are gonna be like, oh, you can do so many cool things. It's not that great. I personally almost never use it unless I'm doing a video where I'm like, guys, look, I got to round 80 using this guy, right? So because of that, I'll put it in the F tier. Carrier Flagship is also another one of those kind of like joke towers, right? It's kind of like a gimmick. It's like, well, if you put the carrier flagship down, it'll give you these platforms where you can put other monkeys on. And sure, yes, sometimes I'm sure that'll be fine when you're playing on maybe like Spice Islands and you want to put a sniper down. The planes kind of go everywhere and clutter up the screen, making it harder to see. So overall, I'm not a huge fan of it, and if I'm using the monkey tower, I'd rather just go like pirates or something else. So overall, not that big of a fan. Sorry, it also has to go into the D tier. Comanche Defense is pretty powerful. I'm just not a huge fan of it because it's like, in the end, I'd rather just go either the other route for it. So it also goes in the D tier. Honestly, I can't say much about this tower. I don't use it enough to really justify it. I feel like it has a lot of potential just because it knocks back Moabs, does extra damage to them. I feel like I can't really do this tower justice. So for now, I'm gonna put it in the B tier. Bloon Master Alchemist. Bloon Master Alchemist is like Come on, guys. It's the Bloon Master Alchemist. This guy also goes in S tier because it's the Bloon Master Alchemist. I mean, he can pop anything instantly that is not a bad balloon. ZOMGs, doesn't matter what round, he's gonna pop it. He's gonna turn it to gold. He's the man. Like, look how swaggy this guy looks. He's amazing, and he gets to go in the S tier. No questions asked. Legend of the Night. I mean, it's the Legend of the Night, guys. I mean, this is the only reason I was able to beat round 999, and in the later rounds, it's literally the only viable option to get super late in the game, and is not even arguable. It is the strongest late game tower ever. It has incredible popping power, and it's just an amazing tower. But the problem is, it is $250,000. Does it go S tier or does it go A tier? It goes S tier, guys. It's Legend of the Night. Come on. It's fun. It's exciting. I love getting it. It has a fun build up. It gets to go the S tier. I love this sniper because it just feels so powerful. It gets to go in the A tier list, mainly because it does extra damage to Moab balloons, and all types of Moab balloons also take increased damage because of this guy shooting them. It stuns them, and once I have one of these guys, I don't have to worry about like strong balloons like ceramics and stuff, just because he just pops them. I mean, whenever I put one of these down like casually just off in the corner and I go and check, like a few rounds later, he's already at like 60 or 70,000 pops. I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. The Moab Eliminator, it's just like kind of like a gimmick tower. I'm gonna put it in the D tier. Sorry. This guy is just, it's a joke. It's like literally nobody is ever going to get this upgrade. Nobody's ever gonna get that upgrade. It's just not that good in my opinion. And this guy, nobody also, like, this is also like, these two are just, you just don't get them. You just don't ever upgrade these things. If you actually want to make money, it's not worth getting. Also with this, so this tower, also, it's also F tier. These three, all F tiers, guys. All of them. They don't do anything. They make you some money, but like if your point is to make money, you're just gonna go the other route because they cost the exact same money as much as this, but nobody cares. It's worse. We're not even having a discussion. We're moving on. Permacharge. Permacharge is a lot of fun to use just because like it does a lot of damage, but at the end of the day, I'm personally not a big fan of boomerang monkeys. I just don't think they're that great, and because of that, I know he's good, but he has to go in the C tier. I'm sorry, guys. Brewmaster. I mean, come on, guys. Like, is there any debate? He's obviously the worst tower in the game. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Please don't dislike the video. That was a joke. That was, for legal reasons, that was a joke, guys. He's S tier. Best tower in the game. I mean, he gives you insane popping power. He gives acidic mixture. He's just like, he's the backbone to any strategy. You're going to want your Brewmaster there, right? Like, you just want the Brewmaster. Perma-Spike. Perma-Spike is... It's Perma-Spike, guys. Like, if you don't want to lose, you just put the Perma-Spike down. It's relatively cheap. It's fun to get. And it's just satisfying watching all the balloons just run into him and it just not disappearing, right? So because of that, I'm going to put Perma-Spike up in the A tier list. Pirate Lord. The Pirate Lord is fun, right? The Pirate Lord is cool. It has cannons. It can take out 3 ZOMGs in one foul swoop. It does a lot, and it has a really good build-up. You get the grape shot, you have your cannons, you have a lot of things, and you can get the top path, which you get double shots. It's just a fun, cheap tower with a good build-up that'll help you late game. I like it. It's not incredibly powerful, but I'm going to put it in the B tier. The thing with Plasma Monkey Fan Cub is it's kind of the same as Pop Lust, right? Where you need to kind of have a strategy that's built around that. You can't just put him down, right? You have to put him down and you have to put a bunch of monkeys next to him, right? And then you have to wait on an ability to make him more useful. It's just, it costs too much time and mental energy to kind of commit to this one thing. So I'm going to put it in the D tier. First strike capability. I think submarines are just amazing, right? Submarines are super good overall. This one is not that great. The problem with it is by going the middle path, you're losing out on it feels like you're just losing out on something, because you're going to have to go the top path so you can hit everything, or you're going to have to go the bottom path and not be able to have all the attacks, but you'll be able to attack faster. And so I'm just not that big of a fan, because it kind of restrains you to which path you want to go. And it's really, if I'm going to be getting a submarine, I'm going to want to get something else. So again, we'll put it in the C tier, because it's definitely not as bad as these guys, but it's not that great. So it's like in between C and D. The thing with primary expertise is, again, it's kind of like these joke towers, right? Yes, it is really powerful, but if you're getting a village, how often are you going to really get primary expertise, right? The thing with primary expertise is to really get the full benefit out of it, you kind of need a strategy revolved around it. I mean, how often are you going to casually put down a primary expertise tower? Yes, it does a lot of damage and it's pretty cool, but it's slow shooting. It's overall not that useful. If I'm going to be spending all that money, I'd rather just get something that's going to do damage, and then I'd get a village to boost that tower. I think I'm going to have to put it in F tier, not because of the tower itself, just because it's kind of a gimmick of a support tower trying to do something specific. And if I'm going to be doing that, I'd rather just get a different tower. The Sky Shredder is just like, well, the problem is, it's just crazy to look at, right? It fills the sky and it doesn't really have any direction, right? It kind of just like flies around and you just hope it pops balloons. It doesn't really focus in on anything and it kind of just lets a lot of balloons by. So by the time you have it fully upgraded, you're kind of having to deal with these stronger balloons that can kind of just deal with it. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm going to have to put it in the F tier as well. I know people are going to really disagree with me again, and you guys have to remember, please remember, this is my own personal opinion. This isn't an official tier list or anything like that, guys. This is just my personal tier list for towers. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that, and that's okay. You guys don't have to agree with me. Probably because I'm wrong, but this is the type of tier list that I want to make. I like Prince of Darkness. I think it's a cool concept for a tower, but it has a lot of weaknesses. Its main weaknesses, it has no way of dealing with like Moabs, right? Almost zero way of dealing with like a ZOMG or a Moab, right? It has nice range though, and once it gets going, it becomes more and more powerful as the round progresses, and it's not that entirely expensive, and it boosts all of the necromancers, so because of that, it gets to go into the C tier. Oh yes, Spirit of the Forest. Spirit of the Forest is an amazing... Spirit of the Forest just... I love Spirit of the Forest, guys. It is really, really good, mainly because it gives you extra money. The vines on the track that it provides pops a lot of balloons and just brings a lot to the team. It's really expensive, but once you get it down, I feel a whole lot more comfortable. And I think it's a really good tower, but it's not one of the best. It's probably going to go in B tier. Okay, Sub Commander is such a good tower, guys. Submarines are amazing, mainly because they have global range, incredible pierce, they do massive damage to Moabs, and they don't have any trouble popping lots of balloons, right? A lot of towers and balloons, basically, they focus on being really good at one thing and then not great at other things, right? For example, you have your Moab Eliminator, right? It's not going to deal with a whole bunch of like small balloons, right? But it's going to take out Moabs. This thing just does well against everything. It has incredible popping power for Moabs, and it's just, once you get like a couple of these, you're sailing high. Because of that, it gets to go in S tier. Guys, the fact that I don't even know what this tower is, like, I'm kind of looking at it and I kind of just forgot the name, and just like, I really don't even know what it does. It just goes in D tier. Like, I just don't really know it that much. Okay, this is one of the only glue gunners worth getting. This guy has the ability to hit ZOMGs and I think maybe bads, don't quote me on that, and it slows them down and does damage over time. This is the only glue gunner that can really do tons of damage to Moab class balloons, and it can help you late game. So because of that, it gets to go up into, I'm gonna put it A tier. Super Maelstrom is a really nice to have. The ability is really strong, and on certain maps, not all maps, certain maps, it's amazing. But other than that, it's not that great, so I'm probably gonna just put it in B tier. Super Mines they're a hit or a miss, right? I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's like the second most expensive tower in the game besides the Super Monkey upgrades. Or so it's the third most expensive tower, right? It's like $180,000. So it's really, really expensive. So it's great, but since it's so expensive, it's gonna go into the B tier because most of the time you're not gonna have the money to actually buy it. Superstorm. Superstorm Druid is super good. Get it? Because it's super... Okay, I'll quit. Sorry. He just controls the balloon. You put this at the end of the map, and not many things are ever going to make it past. They're actually going to get blown all the way back to the start. The Superstorm is like a mixture of like the old wizards that had the tornadoes and stuff with just fiery balls of death and awesomeness and electricity. So because of that, I'm probably going to put it up in A tier. It would be S tier, but the problem is it's just too expensive. Anti-Bloon Gunner has a special ability that allows him to pop almost all balloons that are within his vicinity and just does massive damage with 2 guns. He's basically 2 towers in the form of 1. It's really nice to have. He's a great tower, especially for that. He gets to go into the B tier. The Bloon Solver, basically just, its whole thing is just melting balloon, right? And once you get this tower, it's really satisfying to just watch the balloons just they just melt down and they just disappear into absolute nothingness. It's really nice, but the problem is it does not affect Moabs whatsoever. It doesn't bother them, doesn't even slow them down. By the time you hit like round like 60, 70 and have to deal with like just Moabs only, it's kind of worthless, right? So it gets to go into the C tier. I love the Tack Zone. Personally, I think the Tack Zone is a lot of fun to use. Do I think it's an amazing tower? I mean, I think there's better options for your money, but I think it's a lot of fun to get. So for fun value, it gets S tier, but for actual being super useful, it goes down into the C tier. I wish I could give it S rank, but it does not get S rank. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. Total Transformation. Total Transformation, just in my opinion, isn't that great. Originally in Bloons there was a bug where you could use Total Transformation and then the Plasma Monkey Fan Cub at the same time to create like a super powerful army, but you can't really do that anymore. So it's like, again, it's the same with the Plasma Monkey Fan Cub. It's like I could build like a strategy around it, but like if I'm getting an Alchemist, I'm getting the Alchemist so I can either get the Bloon Master Alchemist or I could get Permanent Brew, right? It's not worth it. It's too expensive. It doesn't do enough. And for that, I'm sorry, but it has to get F tier. Like the thing with the Plasma Monkey Fan Cub is it's still pretty okay by itself because it's pretty powerful. But other than that, it's not that great. You know what? Plasma Monkey Fan Cub also goes in the F tier. I'm sorry, I changed my mind. Those are both F tier towers, in my opinion. The thing with Trade Empire is it tries to do a lot of things, but it doesn't do them very well, right? It tries to make you money and also pop balloons, and the idea behind that is pretty cool. It's everything in one, but it doesn't do a ton, and it's really expensive. Unless you have a lot of them, it's not going to do a ton, but it's still fun, and it's not an awful tower, so I think it gets to have D tier. Tsar Bomb, I mean, what is it? It's a plane that drops huge bombs, right? Wipes out the screen, but again, it's kind of one of those like niche towers that's the only thing it does, right? In my mind, why not use that money that you were going to get to have the Tsar Bomb to get a tower that's going to deal with all of the other balloons, right? So why would you spend money on getting an ability to make sure you don't lose to get towers that are going to make it so you don't lose in the first place, right? So that's why I don't think it's that great. So I'm going to have to put it in the D tier. Ultra Juggernaut. I think the concept of Ultra Juggernaut is awesome. I've always loved catapults in balloons because like catapults, let's face it, have been around for a long time. I think since either Bloons TD 2 or Bloons TD 3, and it's just a nice tower in general. I don't think I use it as much as I should, mainly because I don't think it has a ton of popping potential. I think it has to go into the C tier. Fire Lord Phoenix. Fire Lord Phoenix is a really nice tower. Mainly because you get to use an ability and you get 2 Phoenixes. You have 1 Phoenix constantly going around the screen, and this is really, if you have the money for it, this is where you're going to want to put it for the wizard, right? Because the other 2 upgrades are they're just not as great. The Fire Lord Phoenix is definitely the best wizard upgrade and the most powerful. It just kind of destroys the Archmage. It's not S tier material, but I definitely think it's up in A tier list. All right, guys, so that concludes my tier list for Bloons TD6 T5 towers. What do you think? Comment down below. Do you agree with my tier list, or do you think it's completely wrong? How would you do a tier list, guys? Comment down below what you think your tier list would be. I would love to read through and see what your favorite towers are, or maybe only what the S tier towers are. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that like button, and if you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications. Thank you so much for watching the entire video. It means the world to me. You're all amazing, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for some more awesome videos. Bye, everybody!